Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel, Ranting with Riley. I'm Riley. I am very, very new to this, so please be gentle with me in the comments. This is genuinely the first time I've done anything like videos and stuff online, so let's see how it goes. I'm not editing this first video just because I don't know what I'm doing yet, and I'd just like to get it out, because once I've got one out, then I can, figure it out for myself. So I'm going to be crocheting this lovely bright orange cat blanket today. It's done with a drunken granny stitch, and if you've got any crafting that you want to do, craft along with me. I've decided to call my channel Ranting with Riley because I like to talk, I like to say a lot of things, I do have a lot of rants that just kind of happen. My family get fed up of hearing me, so I figured, why not talk to the internet? So if that's something that you're interested in, grab your needles, grab your whatever you're doing, and, stitch along with me. I do have 3 cats, so there is the possibility of cat cameos. They will happen. There's one sat over there, and there's one on the windowsill as well. Yeah. If you do hear random noises, it's possibly people outside. You can hear them quite loudly, so I apologise for that. Like I said, I don't know what I'm doing with the whole editing stuff yet, so I'll figure it out as I go. I really wanted to get this first one done. So, I enjoy Harry Potter, true crime, and all sorts of crafting. I'm currently crocheting, but I also knit. I've made amigurumi, I've done paintings, I've done drawings. Ink was always my preferred method of stuff, to do. I love the contrast between the dark ink and the very stark pages. Black and white, always a good choice, nice and classic, but brown paper always was my go-to. Unfortunately, most of my artwork has been lost over time. I moved house a lot and things disappear. You might notice I'm left-handed, so if you are trying to follow along to what I'm doing, well, good luck, because I don't really have it set up to show you what to do, and if you're a right-handed person, there's a high probability, like me, that you just cannot do it. I've tried right-handed. In fact, I was taught by my mother-in-law how to knit, and she's right-handed, and I could do it alongside her when I was literally sat next to her and copying what she did step for step. And then I got home and I tried it and I could not figure it out at all. So I decided to go on YouTube and have a look, see if any videos had left-handed knitting, which they did. YouTube's great for that. Which is also why I'm not doing a tutorial channel, because there's no point. Because all my learning comes straight from YouTube creators that, oh, hello. Scar's snuggled up on me. There she is. Yeah, so all these people on YouTube know what they're doing, and they have channels dedicated specifically to teaching people how to do certain things. And when it comes to crochet and knitting, I'm not a beginner, but I'm not super intense either. But everything I learn from them, so I don't feel like I should really be teaching people if I don't really know what I'm doing myself. I mess up a lot. This is the 4th iteration of this. I've had to pull it all apart 4 times. Sorry, 3 times I've had to pull it all apart. And the only thing that stayed was the initial chain. And I still did it wrong. It's still too big, but I am not undoing it all now. I finally figured out the pattern. So yeah, mess ups do happen. If they do happen with you, don't take it personally, don't take it to heart. It's a challenge. Every time's different. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. And I realise I'm not actually looking at the camera. The camera's there. Right, okay. I'll try and look at the camera more when I'm talking. So you've met Scar. She is actually rather clean today. She's normally a very mucky cat. Whenever they go outside, there's dusty bits, and she rolls in all the dust. So she's a black and white cat that comes home grey. But yeah, they only go outside during the day, and they only go outside when the gate's closed, because we share a drive with a business, and they have trucks and cars and stuff going up and down the drive all day, so they're only allowed out when the gates are actually locked, so that there's no cars coming back and forth. So yeah, I don't know if I said, I've got 3 cats. I've got Scar, who you've met. I've got Nova, who's her sibling, like littermate, and we also have Benji. And Benji's my gentle giant. He's a rather large cat, but he's ever so lovely. I mean, they're all lovely, but Benji's like, he's a gentleman. He's a very dainty gentleman. And he's also very, very shy, so you'll probably not see Benji, and if you do, he's probably going to look like he's about to be murdered. That's just his natural face. But yeah, we got him and his brother as basically feral cats who didn't have much in the way of human interaction, which was really rather upsetting, but we've had them for 6 years now, and you know, we do get cuddles. He does come and sit on the sofa with us on occasion, and only to his thing. And when you stroke him, he wants to be stroked. He loves pets and cuddles, but he'll sit just like so. All you can touch is just that. So he gets the cuddles, but he also gets the assurance that you're not going to try and pick him up. Sorry, needed to drink. Turns out talking dries your throat up. So yeah, I've currently been knitting these cat blankets with the spare yarn that I've got. And I know I said I'm not going to be like a tutorial channel or anything like that, but I tend to find when it comes to crochet, because it's so easy to swap and change projects, which is actually why it's my preferred method for working with yarn, because you can literally do that. Take the hook out, use the hook for a different project, put that to one side. Great. However, if I put that to one side and then I don't come back to it for another, what, month, 2 months, years, I'm not going to have a clue what hook I was using. So I'd suggest, if you are going to put projects to one side where you are using specific things, just make a little note on a piece of paper and stick it on there somehow, probably like with a safety pin or something. Just, you know, mention what hook size you used, what pattern you were doing, just to give yourself a sense of where to begin to actually make your project what it should have been. Many a time I've put up projects and gone, huh? What were this? Huh? So yeah, I've ended up pulling apart a lot of projects that I've finally got back to after years and years. But yeah, I'm kind of using this channel as a way for me to have a little bit more motivation to finish things. But yeah, these cat blankets, like I said, it's just using up extra yarn that I've got lying around. This one was actually used to make little Among Us figures, and also a puffle. And I made an orange puffle, if anybody knows what they are, from Club Penguin. So they were really fun. I'll see if I can put pictures on. If I can, I will. If not, sorry. So yeah, they're them. I have mentioned I like Harry Potter. I also like One Piece, but please, no spoilers if anybody has them. I'm not 100% up to date yet. But yeah, I'm on new medication because I have Crohn's colitis, we think. Is Crohn's or colitis? We're not sure. So is Crohn's colitis until we find out, which is inflammatory bowel disease. and I tell people this because I feel like it's something that doesn't have a lot of knowledge. There's not a lot of knowledge about it, and there's a lot of stigma attached to it because it's a bowel disease. You know, it's a lot of stigma. You can't talk about it because, oh, hi Benji. You know, you can't talk about poop and stuff like that. But it's I think I've heard it being called the poop disease, and it kind of is for some people, but there's a lot more into it than that. It is an autoimmune disease, so it is quite intense. I honestly didn't think you'd get to see Benji, but I think you might get to see Benji. Hello. You coming over? Yeah. Shy Benji. And Scar didn't want to share, apparently. Cats. I also used to have... So yeah, Benji's brother I talked about, he's recently just passed. Still getting over that one. And I also, last year, lost another cat that we had, called Kitty. She was my eldest cat. We'd had her for about 17 years. So we expected her passing. She was getting on in age. She had a lot of health issues by the end. So it wasn't a big shock, but it was still devastating. And then Johnny, he was only 6 when he passed, and it was sudden, it was unexpected. He got hit by a car from the people that actually share the drive, hence why they're now not allowed outside. Because they used to be fine, they've been out there multiple times, but it is what it is. Unfortunately, Johnny was an example of what not to do. So now the cats are homebound until the workers are done. I feel like I need to actually maybe edit some of this because it's rather sad. So, let's talk about happy things. Oh yeah, I was saying, no medication. IBD. IBD is an autoimmune disease, which basically means that my immune system is doing such a good job at fighting off things that it started fighting my own body. So one thing I really want to mention, just in general for everybody, if you're well, if you're healthy, if you're not sick, please don't waste money on immune boosting supplements or something like that. Because if you boost your immune system when it doesn't need to be boosted, you're making yourself more ill. If you've got a cold or you've got the flu or something like that, fair enough, boost your immune system, give it a little bit of a push in the right direction. But an autoimmune disease is basically when your immune system works too well that it starts attacking the body. So don't waste your money on stuff like that. It's not necessary. It's actually more harmful. I'm currently on immunosuppressants, which means I am more likely to get sick, to help me not be sick, which seems really counterproductive, but there you go. Been on them for years now, so I'm used to the situation. Just got to be a bit more careful with myself and meeting people and, you know, not visiting family or friends if anybody's got any kind of bug. But that's just as it is. I've had a lot more luck with the progression of my disease than a lot of people get. I've probably had this since I was a teenager, but it only got diagnosed in 2019, I think it was. So I've been diagnosed about 6 years now, and still learning lots of new things. Any Crohn's out there, you'll probably know the game of is it Crohn's? Any new symptom? Is it Crohn's? Because Crohn's, surprisingly, affects a lot more than just the digestive tract. So yeah, it's an interesting one. If anybody wants to hear more about that, or, you know, what I go through, then please let me know. If you don't want to hear about anything like that, then that's absolutely fine. Just let me know, and I shall find some other topic to talk about, or you can make suggestions for anything that you might be interested in listening to. So, as you've seen, I have cats. I enjoy cats. I enjoy animals in general. If I could have more, I would. I was offered some kittens a couple of weeks ago that aren't quite ready to leave mum yet, but I still get picture updates. I'm not allowed any more cats. It's my partner that basically funds them, so he's said no. He's actually said we have a limit for 2 cats, and I have 3 cats, so it's basically saying we can't get any more. You're sticking with what you got. Really? Okay, they're fighting. So yeah, sorry. This is where we're at currently. We've just got this much left. And the one thing I always find really difficult is the corners or the edges of these kind of works. And I always wondered, like, how do people get such straight edges? And then sometimes I can do it, and then sometimes I just really can't, and I don't understand what I've done wrong every single time. But there you go. Ooh, I'm getting a new kitchen installed. Yay. Big deal for us. And it's hopefully going to be awesome. I'm foreseeing a lot of issues with the actual structuring, and basically when we moved into this house, it was very, very damp. There was a lot of issues with damp and stuff, and the kitchen has always had like mouldy kind of cupboards on the bottom. So that to me says that it wasn't very watertight or anything. So we've never actually been able to use the bottom cupboards, and it's only a small kitchen. So we're going to get a lot more storage, and I'm actually kind of concerned that we're not going to be able to fill it all in. We probably will, but yeah, going to get a lot of extra storage. So I'm very excited about that. Which after this, I'm going downstairs and I'm going to take off one of the kitchen cupboards and also pull off some more tiles. Very therapeutic, but also very disgusting because underneath the tiles it does not look good. But yeah, we're getting professionals in to do that because as much as I like DIY, I'm not ready to replaster damp walls. It feels like it needs proper treatment by people who actually know what they're doing. So we've got somebody to actually come in and do it for us. I have actually done most of the decorating in the house that has been done. I have also, like, this is one of the rooms that's mostly decorated. And I have actually used 2 different types of paint. So you'll see the wall looks kind of shiny here. But on the other wall it's the same colour, but it's a matte colour. And I didn't realise that this one was shiny. But because I'd already done it, I wasn't going to do it again. It was just like, nope, that's it, we're keeping it like that. Oh, sorry, you don't want to see my leg. So yeah, I do a bit of DIY. I started taking up the carpet in the room in the dining room downstairs about 6 months ago, and I still haven't finished. Right, this is what I'm talking about. So I've just got to this section, and I should be able to put my hook into a hole like that. But what I've not done, like that, is made the hole. So this is wrong. And the way to fix it would be to rip out this entire row and the one underneath it to get to this point. I ain't doing that. That's too much effort. So I'm just going to fanjangle it, and I'm going to go in there instead, and we'll just work as if I did it properly. And that's how my crochet or my knitting works. If it's going to take too long to fix, just fudge it, make it work. It'll look alright in the end. And if anybody's looking very intensely, then tell them to bob off. That's my best advice for you. It tends to be a lot of people that don't do this stuff daily wouldn't know what they were looking for, and even me, I can look at crochet stitches and stuff and I won't know what they've done or how they've done it. But I know some people can look at it and be like, oh yeah, that's a bloody blah stitch and they've done this. I can't do that. Even once I've done it myself and I'm like, what were I doing? So yeah. Kudos to those people that can actually look at like knitted stuff or crocheted stuff and be like, oh yeah, this is exactly how they've put this together. It's great. Good for you guys. Wish I could. Yeah. As for the crochet as well, I've noticed a lot of videos and a lot of people, they actually like wrap the yarn around the hands certain ways to deal with tension. I don't do that. Like, my tension is done basically like this, and sometimes, like, one sec, let me just, yeah, sometimes it's literally just looping over the wands, and then that's it. The rest of the tension is literally just like that. Because that works for me. I know some people prefer like the tension rings and stuff. They're good. Never tried them. Don't think I'd be able to function with them, but never mind. Sorry, just thinking. In the background you'll see I've got like a picture wall with lots of different things. It's a work in progress. It's something that I want like to be spread around. And this room currently is the bedroom, but there's the possibility we're turning that into an office. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. However, I think we're going to get the kitchen sorted before we start moving bedrooms around. I have always moved furniture around the house. I've swapped rooms constantly. It's always just been a thing in my family, is just moving things back and forth. But because we've moved house so often, I think it's just something that it gets stagnant, and you're just like, well, my bedroom's boring now. Let's put the bed in this corner and see how we can make it work. And it's just kind of gone on from there. I'm excited for the new kitchen. It's hopefully going to be good. But one thing we will have is an oven, so I can bake again. Basically, me and my partner are not very good at getting things fixed if they need fixing. We have had a broken oven for the past at least 3 years, possibly 4. And we've just left it as is. Turned it off, left it as is. The dishwasher broke, so that got taken out. The fridge broke, so luckily we got one from my mum, who was getting rid of stuff. So we've got a fridge freezer, which is good, but it's like the 3rd one that we've had. And yeah, so currently the only way we cook now is on the hob and with the air fryer, but it's not like a snazzy air fryer, it's actually a glass-based air fryer, which means it's not very good for cooking things. It's more of a grill, and the microwave. So there are only cooking things at the minute, because everything else that we've had in the past have all broken and we've just never replaced them. So new kitchen, new utensils and appliances. So we're actually hopefully going to have a working oven so that I can make biscuits. Biscuit seems really random, but I made cakes a lot. My partner doesn't like cakes. I can't eat much in the way of cakes, so they're not going to work. But my current thing is ginger nut biscuits and chocolate nibbles. It came about, I know it's a weird combination, but when I get my chocolate nibbles, I put them in a plastic tub so that I can eat them all and not get dust everywhere. And if you can see all the dust at the bottom, I had ginger nut biscuits at the side of me, and I thought, oh, well, I want to finish off this chocolate nibble dust, but I don't have anything to pick it up with. Oh, I know, let's get these ginger nut biscuits and scoop it up from there. And it was delicious, and now I can't eat one without the other. So I'm kind of hoping to make my own ginger nut biscuits with chocolate nibbles incorporated and see how they turn out. So that's exciting. Yeah, I'm been listening to Super Carlin Brothers through the Gryffindor podcast to help me go to sleep at night. I don't know how they help me go to sleep at night because I'm very interested in what they say, and they're very loud, but that's just what it is. It helps me sleep. And yeah, coming up on those things, it really brings to light all the plot holes in the story and things that annoy me in the story of Harry Potter. So I do enjoy the books, I do enjoy the story, but I feel like I enjoy the fanfiction side of it more because people tend to fix certain issues that I have with it. And one of the things is the currently reading Goblet of Fire that I'm listening to, and they mentioned the invisibility cloak, and it's just, if you know the books or the films, is it in the films? I can't remember. But yeah, if you know the books, just after Harry comes out from the prefect's bathroom, after having a bath with like 50 different scents, he drops everything. He gets caught by Moody, he gets caught by Filch's cat, Mrs. Norris. And to me, I have a huge issue with the fact that Moody's eye can see through the invisibility cloak, and also that Mrs. Norris can smell Harry with the invisibility cloak on. Because I honestly think that such an impressive artifact from such a long time ago should be infallible. Like, it's Death's cloak itself. It should cloak everything. It should cloak sound, like scent, basically cut off all your senses from the fact that a person is underneath there. But that's just me. The fact that Moody can see through it, I think, is the biggest issue I have. But yeah, I honestly think that every single sense that you can use in order to track somebody should be negated whenever you're wearing that cloak. Regular invisibility cloak, fair enough, you know, but not a Deathly Hallow. That to me, like Death's own cloak, it needs to have complete infallible stuff. Obviously, if it falls off, then that's silly. Don't let it fall off. Yeah, so that one's like struck out in my mind. And another one that really gets me is Harry never updates his wardrobe. And I know that it's not necessary, but he's rich. He has money. And he still wears his cousin's hand-me-downs. Like, why? When, like, I know he doesn't really go out shopping or anything like that, or when he does, he gets other people that, you know, they'll help him do it and everything like that. But in the third book, it doesn't show in the movie, but in the third book, he has 3 weeks alone in Diagon Alley. 3 weeks. What does he do? He looks at Quidditch quality supplies and he eats ice cream. But not once does he go to the bank and get out any money and say, hey, can you tell me where to get a nice new set of clothes? But yet he doesn't like does his hand-me-downs because it's too big for him. They're oversized, they don't fit. And he gets a new uniform every time because he's outgrowing everything, but he's still not outgrowing Dudley's hand-me-downs. So why does it not cross his mind to get new clothes in the 3 weeks that he has just chilling in a shopping place? Like, what? Just no, Harry, no. Just go get some new clothes, hon. Like, don't need to be fancy. Don't need to be a lot. Just get yourself a new wardrobe, clothes that actually fit you, clothes that you can grow into but aren't like oversized. And so that you can actually just be you. Have your own style, you know, that kind of thing. Or that, when he first goes and visits his vault, he never once asks what his parents do for a living. Surely that would be one of your questions, right? You're 11. You're brand new to this. You find your vault. It's stacks and towers of coins upon coins. Surely one of the first things is, wow, my parents were rich. And then the next question is, how did they get to be so rich? But he never asks. I want to know how they got so rich. I mean, yeah, we find out later on, but Harry never finds out. Like the fact that his dad's side of the family, they're all like potions people. And yet Harry's rubbish at potions. Which is fine, you're not all going to be the same as everybody in your family, but it'd be nice if you knew that Skellygrow and Sleek Easies came from his side of the family. But nope, he doesn't ever learn that. So yeah, I feel like there's a lot of things that Harry doesn't learn that nobody thinks to tell him because it's all like common knowledge in the wizarding world that they're just like, oh yeah, Harry knows. And I think everybody seems to forget that Harry was brought up by muggles who pretended that magic didn't exist. So yeah, lots of plot holes. I could talk about it forever, but I will probably end it here because this is probably going to be a lot and it's disjointed and I am sorry, but I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you enjoyed crafting alongside with me. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe maybe, share it if you feel like you know somebody who might be interested, and leave a comment if there's anything that you want to hear about next time, or you know, anything that you'd rather listen to. Any suggestions? I will attempt to edit slightly, probably because there's a lot of ums. I know there's a lot of ums. I apologise for that. Next time I might have a little bit of a bullet point list of things to talk about and try and make it a bit more structured. But yeah, I just wanted to get it out, the first one, just so that I've done it, and then hopefully the pressure's off a little bit because I've done it. So thank you for joining me. Please have a pleasant day, evening, night, whatever you're on, and I shall talk to you next time. Bye bye.